So, Jay, let's talk again. I'm going to give out the website. ChristmasFuture.org is the website. Change the world for good. And so let's talk about some of the causes and projects that are happening. Just here on the website, ChristmasFuture.org, I'm looking at the main headings. There's gender equality, 19 projects, education, 16 projects, community development, 12 projects, economy, 8 projects, health, 3, agriculture 2, and infrastructure 1. And there's a bunch of different countries, Nicaragua, Chile, Bolivia, Uganda, India, Nepal, Kenya, Honduras, Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. And what Christmas Future focuses on is integrated approaches to ending poverty. So on our website, you're not going to find any one-off projects, although water wells are great. And chickens are great, and you know, buying a heifer is great. Those are all good things. But what's better is looking at the whole system and trying to improve that whole system. So every project that you'll find on our site is part of an integrated approach to getting the poorest communities in the world out of poverty in a lasting way. So it's not just a one-off. It actually is synchronized with other projects and coordinated.
Okay. That's interesting that you mentioned the chickens, and because I heard on the radio that there is a site out there where you can purchase chickens and goats and things like that as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
But wouldn't that, I mean, doesn't that sustain like a family? I mean, chickens lay eggs and goats make milk, and, you know, I mean, that is ongoing, isn't it?
Yes and no. Like I say, there is goodness happening there. That is a good sort of first level approach to solving a problem in a lasting way. The way that those types of programs are run is typically you're not buying a chicken for a family. It's more what we're calling a bit of big bucket philanthropy. So you throw your money in a bucket, and it's sort of a virtual chicken that you're buying for someone, and then they go in and you know, provide a certain amount of chickens to a certain amount of people. As I said, there is some goodness in that, but if you don't consider the whole system that you're going into, you can actually really harm a community or even an entire economy of an area or region by all of a sudden dropping in 50,000 chickens. You could really, if you don't do it properly and consider the rest of the system, it could be damaging. Really?
In what way could it be damaging to have chickens?
Yeah. So, for example, if a whole bunch of generous people in North America donated a whole bunch of money to chickens, to buy a bunch of chickens for a community in, let's pick a nation, Kenya, a particular community in Kenya, maybe near Kisumu. So all of these chickens are now dropped off into this community. So at one level, this is great. People have chickens that are producing eggs and could be used at some point to eat as well, eat the chickens themselves. Mm-hmm. But now what you've done is you've disturbed that entire economy, so now there's free chickens for that group of people. Now the price of chickens will drop substantially in the surrounding areas, perhaps, because that group of people doesn't need chickens or eggs anymore. So now you've shifted an entire economy.
Wow.
And you possibly, I'm not saying this happens for sure, but if it's not done properly, you could possibly make chickens or an entire economy sort of shake a little bit. And I guess we're pretty familiar with shaking economies at this juncture.
Wow, that's like I never would have even thought of that. The people that are selling chickens and eggs wouldn't have customers anymore, and so that hurts their economy.
Yeah, exactly. So the larger picture is really important to consider. And again, no one has it all right. No one has it all figured out, but the broader system should be considered at all times.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these projects. I'm just going to click on gender equality here. Mm-hmm. There's at the top of the list in Nepal, Core International Microcredit 3-year program. So, and it needs $13,324, but some has already been donated. So the current need is just over $7,000.
Oh, great.
So what is the program?
Typically, a microcredit program will involve. There's different types of microcredit, and they rank them A++, A+, or A, or B. Basically, that ranking indicates to you the amount of additional services on top of just microcredit loans. So, for those that aren't familiar, microcredit lending is the concept of getting a smaller amount of money to an entrepreneur in the developing world that typically doesn't have access to funds from a big bank because they don't have any collateral or they don't have any evidence that they could pay it back. But all they need is, $50, $100 to start a little business that can actually sustain their lives and their families' lives. So that's microcredit. Now, typically, microcredit is focused towards women in the developing world. And the reason that they do this is because it's been shown that women, if they're given money, are very responsible to pay it back and to spend the money on their families. So any money that they make from this microcredit loan towards their business, they'll spend their money on their family. Whereas men will 50% spend it on their family and 50% spend it on other things such as, gambling or alcohol or those kinds of things. So most microcredit goes to women, I think 98%. And the cool thing about microcredit is that 98% of the loans get paid back, which is way above any kind of conventional loaning. So now you're seeing the larger bank trying to buy up the smaller microcredit loans. So what's going on in Nepal is they are creating a system of microcredit lending and trust banks where they group people together, 10 people or 12 people, to be accountable to one another, to say, if I don't pay my loan back this week, you'll pay for me, and if you don't pay yours next week, I'll pay for you. So there's this peer responsibility. And they also teach skills. So they teach financial skills, and they teach business skills, and they teach marketing skills, and they teach general living skills to this little group of people. And now that group of people is responsible to one another. They go off and they do their business that they're creating from this microcredit loan, and then they learn more skills and improve their self-perception and self-worth, and basically rise. They rise and they start to shine.
Wow, that is so awesome. And I want to talk more about micro lending and the gender equality section on ChristmasFuture.org. Right now we're talking with Jay Baydala, founder of Christmas Future. That's ChristmasFuture.org, where you can go and instead of buying someone a sweater or a Starbucks gift card, you can go online and donate money on their behalf, and they can in turn choose what project they want it to go to. So we'll be back with Jay Baydala from ChristmasFuture.org in just a moment.